All right. Hello and welcome to everyone. And thank you for joining us today for this student panel discussion that we're going to have. My name is Carlos Salgado, and I'm currently in London uh, here with three of our wonderful students from HALT, Hajar, Lisa, and Adria. And they will get the opportunity to speak a bit more about themselves and introduce themselves and then let you know about their experience. But before that, and please, if you have any questions for our students, please don't hesitate to use the chat window at the bottom of your screens. There's a Q&A or a chat window. You can use either or. We'll be answering those questions later. But before that, I just wanted to speak to you a little bit more about HALT and let you know a bit more about what makes HALT academic program a bit different. Because as you know, today we're going to be focusing a lot on the academic aspect of HALT and how we try to differentiate ourselves from other universities and to really be the best education for our students. And speaking of differences, I think one of the main things that differentiate us from other institutions is simply the practical experience that you get at HALT. So that's the number one thing I want to talk about is, you know, how from the very first day at HALT, you will get you get the opportunity to experience really what you're learning and put it into practice in a hands-on sort of manner with real companies, with people that come from outside. So companies that come from outside to teach you in the classroom, but also through the use of our professors, because at HALT, the second difference is that our professors come from industry, are industry specialists, we could put it that way. And they have industry experience, meaning some of them could be senior level managers in companies, some of them are entrepreneurs, a lot of them actually teach on the side and they run their own businesses on the other side. So it's a lot about what they bring to the table is more than just you know, a professor's experience. It's an actual businessman's experience. Our curriculum is obviously also very studied in the sense that, you know, we've gone and asked employers what they're looking for when it comes to hiring fresh students from university. And obviously through this research that we've done about this, we've realized the different types of skill sets that employers are looking for in their fresh recruits or fresh employees. And obviously we've adapted our curriculum, and we adapt our curriculum every year so that it is at its most relevant stage. That being said, obviously, I think the best way of describing all of these differences and the best way for us to really reiterate what makes us different is through our students. And I'm very happy to have today a small panel of three students that come from different parts of the world. You know, we have Hajar, who's from Morocco, Lisa, who's from Germany, and Adria, who's Spanish. And enough said about myself and about HALT. I suggest that we now leave our students to describe themselves and speak to you about their experience. So maybe we can start with you, Hajar, since you're the one I see on the top left of my screen. Can you tell me a bit about yourself, your experience, and maybe just a few words about why you decided to study at HALT?
Well, hi guys, my name is Hajar. As he said, I'm from Morocco. I'm going through my third year in HALT. And basically we always go through like this, speaking to students, and like we always give the same answers because those are the concrete ones. The basic question you might ask is like, why choose HALT as a business school, in which there are like many other business schools that you can choose, basically mostly based in London. And I think it's mostly about like not only the program, but how you actually practice what you actually study within the classes. It's like basically nothing is like only theory. It's like one of the unique, and I can even like say one of the most only public like business schools that actually give you the chance to practice what you learn within the classroom in actually the real business world. Like whether bringing a live client, whether like giving you the opportunity to actually do something or start something on your own. So basically when you come to HALT, it's like you have no limits. Basically you get information within the classrooms, but you have no limits to reach whatever you want. It's like mostly whatever potential you can have, you can invest it in whatever, and you're going to have the backup of your teachers, your classmates, and all the faculty. So basically, that's one of the most important things and crucial things we can say about Halt. And I think my friend Lisa here can like add something more, because I think we can speak hours about this.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Well, hi guys. First of all, I'm Lisa from Germany. I'm 21 years old, and I just graduated from HALT. I did my bachelor's there in 2 years, and London was my home campus. And I completely agree with you, Hajar, that being at HALT was a completely different experience of what I expected coming into university. And not only my experience with learning and studying, the professors, but also the student life there. I completely was immersed with the business life, so I got completely motivated to do my own thing, to be in business. Although I even started studying business because I didn't know what to do, it kind of really got me into the right path, and kind of shaped me into who I kind of am now and what I'm working towards. So that was really amazing to me personally. But yeah, I don't know. How about you, Adria? How come you decided to go to HALT?
Well, hello everyone. I'm Adria from Spain, and I just finished my 3rd year and graduated from Holt. I was also London campus based. And for me, I think there were 2 main reasons why I came to Holt. The first one, because of its international student body. Like, if I'm not wrong, I think it's 127 nationalities. And you can see that you're literally going to be sitting next to someone from Morocco, like Hajar, and someone from Germany, like Lisa, right? So I think that was one of the most amazing things about Holt, the fact that you can discover any country in this planet. And the second reason why I choose Holt is for the way of doing education, of teaching business. I think it's really different from most business schools. It's practical. You learn a lot by doing. So I think that those were the 2 reasons why I choose Holt.
Excellent. Thank you very much, guys. So here you have it. I mean, I think your words express very well what Holt is about. And today we're here to talk a bit about the academic side of Holt. How are we academically? What do we focus on, etc. And before we go into asking you questions about Holt's academic, I also want to clarify that at Holt we have obviously when you graduate from Holt, you graduate from a triple accredited business school, meaning that it's recognized worldwide. It's recognized by the most important accrediting bodies in the world. So anyways, so it's very accredited, very recognized, but you also get a diploma, a US-based diploma and a UK-based diploma. So you have that little advantage, international advantage, I could say, if your goal is to get an international career. And also, obviously, you graduate with a BBA, which is a Business of Bachelor Administration, but then you will have the opportunity to have some majors and some minors. Our majors include business analytics, for example, marketing, management, finance, or entrepreneurship. And then you can also choose from minors that include design, computer science, or psychology. And so, I mean, we do have a huge flexibility in terms of how you decide to use your majors or minors. You can also take a major and make it your minor, or you can do what I believe Lisa and Adria have done here, which is you can just major or just do general business. So it's pretty much you take a little bit of everything that interests you so that you graduate not with any specific major, but you graduate with a general business major. But maybe, and I'm curious to hear a bit more about our students' experience here when it comes to the academic side, to the teaching. We heard a lot about the practical aspect, but how would you say, even if you compare it to your high school, or if you compare it to what your friends maybe have said about their universities, that's friends that are from maybe other universities, how would you say the whole sort of teaching experience is different in the classroom? Maybe Lisa, you can start this time.
Yeah, so to me personally, for high school, I mean, I was in a small high school, so it gave me like kind of the feeling already that I was always really involved in the classroom. I always had the opportunity to talk with my teachers and everything. And going into applying to universities, I was always like, oh, everybody tells you basically get lost. The professors, you're always just a number. And I was kind of, yeah, honestly, a little bit scared that I would get lost. I struggle with dyslexia and dyscalculia. So to me, it was really, really important that my professors are aware of my learning disabilities and that I do need that extra time sometimes. And therefore, I was honestly a bit skeptical of applying to bigger universities. Or universities in general. I mean, the universities don't have to be big for professors to not really engage with you. But then I was positively surprised with our professors here at Hult, where you honestly, you sit in the classroom, they care about you, you talk with them as if you've known them for years. If you go up to them after class, they are so happy to talk with you. They're always so busy, so they run from class to class, but they are super happy with you to come with them. Our one professor, Daniel, he overbooks his lunch break and he sits with us in the cafe and talks with us in groups in order to help us. He's not only, like, it's not only him, like we have so many professors that do that. And so for me personally, it was an amazing experience because I did not get lost. In all my classes, my professors knew my name. They knew my name and my last name, which I think is important. They knew what I was studying. They knew my other classes and my interests, also where I was from, which was amazing. So I don't know about you two, but for me, I always had like the ability, or was always so comfortable to go up to the teachers after class and just quickly have a chat about my questions without feeling embarrassed, or even during class. I would just raise my hand without being like, oh, what are they gonna think about it? Is my question stupid or anything like that? So I know for a fact that my other friends in bigger universities, they get surprised when I say, yeah, my professor knows my mom, like things like that. But yeah, how about you, Adria?
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I think that there is not such like a typical day at Holt, right? Like usually have so different from day to day. So I think that that's an important thing to say. Like one day you might go to class and you're gonna have this practical exercise, which you didn't expect, but there you go, you have to do it and start working with groups, all of that. I think that that's what you said, like it's a really close relationship with professor, which in one side, like they can understand your needs and help you develop further, which I think it's really important. And at the same time, they are professionals, so they are the experts on what they do, and you can really see that in class rather than someone coming saying a monologue and then leaving, right? So I think that's it.
That's
true. What about you, Hajar? What do you think?
I think I can like affirm both what you said, and also what I like can add is like basically like I have like same for like the finance and accounting classes we have. So like we have many people like struggle like with calculations and stuff, since like everything is so new. But like basically all the finance teachers, like after they give the course, and they're like, they always ask who still have like faces some like challenges, like who doesn't like having trouble. So like when you say like me, every time after the class ends, the teacher like offers to you to go to his office, so like he can give you the course, like he's like just you and him. So like if you have like some kind of like difficulty, like you're gonna have like a one-to-one professor kind of course, and like he will teach you and try to like do the best. And I think that's something that you would not find anywhere else.
That's
like,
true.
Only give the course and then like they're gonna get paid, and then that's it. Like, yeah, you finish the course, finish 5 minutes before, 10 minutes early, guys leave the class. For us, as much as it's like we don't like it much, but like they always ask us, it's the extra time if we didn't finish, and if you don't understand, he's like, no, like here's more assignments, or more like it's we don't like it as students. Like sometimes it's like we're like, we're tired, but like academically, that's like something like forms you well.
That's true. I mean, it's also cool that Hult offers us to go and have free tutoring lessons with students that were amazing in the classes before. Like, for example, managerial accounting or finance, classes that I personally struggled with. I had older students that helped me. I just booked an appointment with them, and then they would help me in order to go either target specific problems that I had, or just look at some other information that didn't make sense in the classes, which is really cool, and it's free. and the tutors get paid a little bit by HALT, and they're our students, so they actually know the professor really well and they know the content really well, which is great as well.
Excellent. Yeah. All right. Great examples. Great. Thanks for your comments. And I just want to pick up on something that you mentioned, Lisa, regarding your dyslexia, because I think this is something that's rather common and you know, nothing to be ashamed of. And I'm glad you brought it up. Actually, a little fun fact, a few fun facts I have today, actually. First fun fact is that the founder of HALT, the Bertel HALT, who bears the name of HALT, actually was also is actually also dyslexic, and that's actually why he created a very practical sort of learning approach, because he believes that the best way of learning is through practice, and obviously I think he's right. So we'll talk, I mean, yeah, I'll get to my other fun facts later, but maybe can you tell us a bit more about what that implies for you? Does that mean, you know, what kind of extra help did you get, or what kind of, how did that, you know, impact your education, and how did HALT help in the end?
So I obviously had to get tested for my dyslexia. You can't just come and be like, hi, I have struggles reading, I have dyslexia. But no, I went to get tested, and I had a document regarding this. And our student support team, so I went, we say third floor in the HALT, London UG campus. It's basically where all our staff sits. And I went upstairs, and one of the women there, Lucy, she's responsible for helping students who have learning disabilities. So this is not only dyslexia, this could be ADHD or ADD and certain like attention deficits, dyscalculia as well, or you, for example, even physical things. If you get dizzy during class and you need to stand up, like you go talk to those people. And I know that when I went to San Francisco over the summer, I had someone there as well that I was able to talk to. And for me personally, with my dyslexia, it accredited that I was able to get extra time, and I was also allowed to go into my own room. So we went during exams, we would go to the third floor, and they have meeting rooms there. And so it depends, there were several students actually sitting with me a lot. They all had either dyslexia, ADHD, and they took care of us so well. So you would sit in there, the room was quiet, the professors were told, like in the meeting room, to be quiet, and if you had any questions, you were to just raise your hand and wait. But I mean, personally, for me, it was very helpful to not only and also all my professors were of course aware of it. And it wasn't also, I mean, it's nothing to be embarrassed about, but also you don't need to tell everyone like, hi guys, so I'm leaving to the third floor, at least I get special help. But it was really like, they were so respectful about it. And so the extra time was great. So I think, I mean, I personally got 50%. Depends on what your tests say. It's all scientific. And so that was really great. Also, my professors, when we had quizzes, so in some of my courses, like global strategy, for example, we would always have some random quizzes that would come up, and you can't always just quickly be like, oh, I have to go to the third floor because it takes so much time away. The professors would just, in my courses, apply the extra time for me personally. And I mean, it depends. If I would feel unsecure in like the group settings, they would allow me to sit outside or do it to the third floor anyways. But there's, like I said, literally depends on the person. And so like the person, the individual who has the struggle, and how you communicate it. It's so important to be open about it and not be scared to talk about it. Because I know at least at HALT, it's very, very good, a good team. And they also apply really good, they like communication about it. Because I remember when I was applying to HALT, or to universities, that was one of my big concerns. Because in high school, I did get help, but the beginning of my high school was horrible regarding this. I was really struggling. So when I went on the website and researched about it, I actually had a person that I could talk to personally, who allowed me to, you know, call them, be like, hey, look, this is my situation. Would I be able to get support? And we went through it step by step. And I knew that when I would come, that this wasn't just talk and like, yeah, sure, you'll come and we'll help you. But no, I knew that I was like, it was a safe environment, I could say, for me to learn in this certain way.
Thank you, Lisa. Excellent. I think, you know, one thing I do want to say from the Hall perspective is that we understand that students are at the heart of our business school, and that you know, we really try to cater to all our students' needs, and so that's why we make, you know, like I said, practical experience, but for each student, very practical experience. And whenever a student, I think you guys can attest to this, but we're a community. You know, it could be other students, or it could be professors, or it could be faculty, staff. Everybody knows each other more or less because we're a community, and everybody's more or less friends to a certain extent, obviously professionally. But we're there very much to care for our students, and it's almost like a tailor education, whereby we care for our students one-on-one, depending on their needs. But good, thanks, Lisa. Another fun fact of the day is that actually Hajar is on the front cover of our 2021 brochure. So if any of you have seen, or when you actually see, sorry?
I didn't tell you that.
You didn't tell me that, but I know that. So, and this is another thing that's true at Halt for as practical as we are. We also try to include students in everything that we do. So, I mean, I'm just curious, Hajar, can you tell us about your experience in becoming part of the brochure? Or
it basically started with, I think, do you know Tyree?
Yes.
Yeah, so like when they were coming, like having these focus meetings on campus, and like, guys, the thing is, like, what I found like really interesting, like good, is that how faculty and like people like who are up there would call students to get their opinion. It's like they got 4 of us out of school and they're like, guys, here's our marketing strategy. What do you think? What can we improve? Do you see anything wrong? And like us being students, like not even graduated, like don't even have a degree, and being asked by people who are experienced, and they ask for your opinion, like they even like learn from you, and they take your opinion like into consideration. That was like pretty much like amazing. Like I was just like, I could not believe it, because people nowadays, when you're young, they're like, yeah, but you don't understand. Like, yeah, you're still young. You're not going to get it. You don't have experience enough. So we're always just like put aside. Like we're always marginalized. We're always like, yeah, but no. But in Halt, no. Like in Halt, they care about what you think first, and they take into consideration your opinion, your point of view, and that's really good. So it started like that, and like each focus group, like he was calling me, I was emailing them if I have like any, let's say, maybe feedback about whatever they do. It's like I was like always in contact with like Tyree. He saw how much I was interested in Halt, and just how I was very engaged, because I just want to use every opportunity I get in the school, so that I just like jump onto everything I find. And they were like, yeah, like, so do you want to be the cover? I was like, what? So I just like went there. I didn't like, it was not 100% thing, and I had to keep it to myself because it was not sure, so it was confidential. I was like, yeah, whatever, who cares? I'm gonna have a photo shoot. Like whether I'm gonna have it for the cover or no, I'm gonna have new pictures. So we just went there, asked questions, like interview, like why Halt, what do you do, what makes it like this? And then I was surprised too, because I didn't know they actually had put it until my friends like sent me. They were like, oh, Hajar, it's your face on the brochure of Halt. So it was basically a really good experience, like just how the uni values the student and puts the student above everything. It's something you just never find anywhere else.
Amazing.
And that's why I always stick to the school, never go away.
Great, lovely. Thanks for sharing your experience. So it is official, because the brochure has been printed and is out and is official. So
I didn't see it.
So maybe we'll share it. Maybe we'll share a print screen a bit later. But good. And now, I mean, so practical, right? We believe that students, like I said, are at the center. They need to get the practice they need. Can we maybe start talking a bit about very specific practical projects that you worked on, people that you met, companies that you had the opportunity to put on your CV as having done a project with them? Can you guys maybe share all of your experiences of the practical touch that Halt brings to the classroom? And before we get to that, here is the the cover of our 2021 brochure.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so Well done. Very nice.
A lot of makeup on my face. Oh.
And this is obviously the cover, but there's a whole section of the brochure about where Hajar explains her day-to-day experience at Holt and day-to-day classroom and how all of that works out. But excellent. Yeah. So coming back to my question, can you guys maybe share a bit about what companies you've worked with, etc. And maybe Adria, you can start since you're the last to have spoken.
Sure. That's going to be a long list because I think like since the first day you are at Holt, you start working in projects. Like usually every single class you're going to have a group project, and most of the time it's related with the company, right? I think that the first time I was working with like a real company was with Mercer Consulting. So we did a consulting case for them. So they came to us, they said like, we have this problem, guys, help us solve it. So I think that was the first time. But then again, like in pretty much every class, you're gonna be working with real companies. And then also, so we have the careers team that they help us get internships, which sometimes it's a company that you might have worked in class. So thanks to them, I got 2 internships during my time at Holt. The first time was with the Holt Prize Foundation, which is like the biggest social entrepreneurship accelerator program. So I was with them for about 2 years, doing different projects, like doing a bit of social media, doing public relations, operations. And I got the chance to go to the accelerator program and to go to the United Nations in New York for their finals. So that was really cool, and I never expected.
That sounds so amazing.
Yeah, I've never expected. Like 3 years ago, you asked me, you're gonna be in New York in 2 years.
So cool.
Yeah, no, you're kidding. And that was one, and the other one I did was with them personally, the careers team. I was what we call community coordinator, so basically helping students find internships, helping them communicate properly, because they wanted, as Hajar said, like they like us participating in what we do, right? So those were my 2 biggest internships during my time at Holt. What about you, Lisa?
So for me, regarding practical experience, the list also gets so long. Like, it's so funny because we get taught that a CV is only 1 page, and before Holt, I had no idea. So my CV was like pages after pages, and I thought it was so cool that I had so many pages, and obviously I exaggerated that it was even longer. And then once you come to Holt, you face reality and you're like, what, only 1 page? That's so annoying. Because we get so much amazing like work experience and projects and certificates that we can put into our CV, but you need to find a way to like concise it in order to fit it 1 page. And so funny enough, my first semester, I was in Principles of Marketing, and we had a really cool professor who got us as a client at Dock and Bay, and they're like a beach towel, like a microfiber beach towel company, and for them we did like it's super cool because you get allocated into like different groups. Most of you don't know your group, which is even more fun because then you have to like see how you work with them. I mean, everybody loves and hates group work, but whatever. Our like you compete with each other basically to be like it's kind of like it's healthy competition because there's nothing at the end that you win, but you want to have a good grade at the end of the day, and you want to impress the client because like Adria just said, at the end you might even receive a job opportunity without it being said, but if you leave a good impression, who knows? And so my team and I, we decided to go to Oxford Circus, and we bought one of the towels and just asked people, random people on the street, like what they thought. And our professor really thought it was so cool that we did that, like in-person interviews, we used our location really well. And that was super fun. So our team did really well there. And then in another class in Principles of Entrepreneurship, we had Hypersay, right? I think that was it, as a client, and they are like an online platform that was before a pandemic, and they already had a really cool like interactive classroom experience platform. And for them, we also created like a presentation. You get asked different questions because the clients have problems and they want people, we're like the age range of their target group. So they want people like us to kind of provide them with ideas and feedback. And what else? I was also in the Health Management Consulting Club where we did something for EY, Ernst & Young, which was really cool. We did something for a mobile phone banking app in Africa. And then for Mercer as well, Mercer HR Consulting here in London, which was so cool. We went to the headquarters there, and the headquarters there, they have an amazing view on the Tower Bridge and Tower Hamlets. So beautiful. And yeah, I think that's it basically. And then I did my bachelor's in 2 years, so it was really stressful. So I didn't really have that much more time to do anything else. And but yeah, the careers team is amazing as well. I had a lot of help and support and like helpful feeling of knowing that after I graduate, I'll know what to do. Because honestly, it's not very helpful to graduate during a pandemic. It's kind of hard to find like a fixated job. But yeah, do you know what you want to do, Hajar, or what?
I have.
What's your plan?
I don't know. I don't have a plan, but I like it because I know with Holt, like you would like once you plan on doing something, like you have the career team. So like before graduating, I would just like go there and like say, yeah, that's what I want to do, what I want to do. They will guide me. They will give me whatever potential jobs I can get, and that's why I feel just safe. It's like you're never at risk. There's always someone backing you up.
That's true. Yeah. Did you have like any projects in class of like companies where you're like, oh, that's something
We had a lot of
myself
projects.
working? Yeah.
Like the Daniel one, the Hypersay one.
Yeah.
We had also with Tata Group. It's one of the largest manufacturing in the world. So we had that one too.
For what class was that again? I also had that one.
Disruptive innovation.
Disruptive innovation. Yeah, that was so cool. Yeah.
I forgot even the companies because like in each class we have a live client. But the thing is, apart from like live clients, like you know how like we have the chance to like create our own clubs and societies.
Yeah, that's cool.
Professional or like social. So like you know, extravaganza with us, it's like we actually like just like deal and like maybe have like contracts and like
so cool
venues, and that's really
maybe you want to talk about your extravaganza club a little bit more. That's super cool.
So basically, guys, it's like you know when you come to Holt, you can like create whatever like a kind of club, like whether it's like sports, like social. Like we have the MU one, it's like more of like kind of like a Health United Nations thing, and we have like a club, we have football club, tennis, like whatever you want. Just like you want to create. We even have a whiskey and cigar club. So if you like to drink. And for us, when it comes to social, like the extravaganza is like basically kind of like a trip, travel and party thing. It's like we go out to like the most unknown venues in like London, like clubs, and we run the whole thing for Holt students. It's kind of like a VIP thing for us, and like we try to like figure out the theme, like be creative, like with the people's dress, what's the vibe, the music. It's kind of like more like you're doing your own event, but you imagine it on your own. It's like the school is like we're backing you, but like this is your own thing. It's like we don't care if you're gonna fail or succeed, but like you're gonna take full responsibility. So that's the thing is like they put us in the like there, like let's say in the field, and they're like do your battle, but we're not gonna touch you. Like it's on you. And also, but actually like for us students to like do it and like succeed, it's like really good. Like when you go to trips internationally, like for 20 people or more, like and everything goes smoothly and good, like the bookings having like to go, it's actually good. Unfortunately this year we're going to go to Croatia, but nothing can compete with the COVID.
Exactly, sadly.
So like it was canceled, unfortunately.
So it's like a big events management sort of club where you organize events of all kinds, internationally, nationally.
Like we have been to Faro, like to Madeira last November. We have been to Faro last year, but like basically it's always we do like this kind of like we don't go just like to go, but do an activity. Like for Algarve, it was like skydiving, but the weather was bad, so we had to like surfing and stuff. In Madeira, we had to do canoeing, and like we always have to do an activity. Like we just don't go for the sake of going. We go for the sake of doing something fun.
That's awesome.
Extravaganza Club. Yeah, just to add to that, we also have a lot of business clubs. So a lot of students are interested in finance and investment and blockchain and in real estate and students, whatever interest you have, you can create your own club, as Hajar was saying. So if it's a social club like Hajar's, or if it's a sports club, or if it's a business club, all of our students have the opportunity and the possibility.
I mean, the Health Management Consulting Club was the one where Adria and I had a lot of consulting experience with great companies. So, and it's been established for quite some time now. So you even have to like apply to be on the board and everything. But yeah, it's really cool.
Very nice. Great. And coming back a bit to the classroom experience, one of the great things about HALT is also the rotation aspect of HALT, the fact that we have 6 different campuses around the world. We have San Francisco, we have Boston, we have London. Just outside of London, we have Ashridge as well, which is an executive sort of center for education, but some of our courses can be taught there. We have Shanghai and Dubai. And I know some of you or most of you have done a rotation. Can you maybe speak about your rotation experience? And maybe Lisa, you can tell us about San Francisco.
Yeah, so when I came to London, like one of the main reasons I came was because I wanted to have this travel experience. So 100%, I'm gonna admit, like that sold it for me. I lived in Hong Kong for a bit before coming to HALT. I did an internship there. So I was like, oh, that's so cool. I'm going to travel. I don't want to just stay in one place for 3 years. And then I decided to go to London because it's closer to home. And then I thought that every year I'm going to switch campuses. But I fell in love with London. So I stayed in London. And I decided that before finishing HALT that I'll do 1 summer semester in San Francisco. So I did that, and it was really great. So everybody helps you a lot to apply to your student visa and like getting accommodation and everything. And even though it's like quite time consuming, it's definitely worth it. So I went there and it was beautiful. I mean, alone San Francisco is amazing, but even like the professors, it was so worth it. Like they have amazing professors there as well. I got taught there my favorite class, which was management psychology by a professor from the University of San Francisco, who came to HALT for the summer, which was so cool. Like honestly, one of the best experiences or one of the best decisions I made to go there over the summer, and time flies so fast. And yeah, and also, I mean, I went to Ashridge over the second summer then, in summer 2. I had a couple of courses and they got taught like over the weekends. We decided to go to Ashridge for those courses, which also was so nice. One of the courses was called Compassion and the Ethics of Human Suffering. And we were quite a small group of people and so much about each other, about like, empathy, compassion, whatnot. And the Ashridge campus, which is really like so idyllic, like it's like a castle. It's huge, it's beautiful, and you feel like it's amazing. Like you feel like a princess, or like a witch or wizard. Yeah, either or. But no, exactly. It's so cool. I mean, they filmed parts of Harry Potter there. No, so cool. And yeah, so it was an amazing experience. But Adria, where you went to Shanghai over the summer? No, tell us more.
So I agree. Like when I came to HALT, I was like, wow, this is amazing. The fact that you can be in like 5 different countries studying, and it's so easy. Literally, just a single click from your student portal. So it's super easy. So I went to Shanghai last year for 4 weeks. It was my first time in Asia, so I was super excited about that. And I took 1 class, which was about Chinese history related to like economics and how it developed as what it is right now. And it was amazing. And this year I wanted to go to Boston, but obviously COVID happened, so couldn't go. But I think it's amazing the fact that you can travel so easily around the world, and it helps you develop even more and understand how they do business in different countries. Definitely. What about you, Hajar? Did you rotate? No.
I just fell. I'm in love with this city, so I'm not going anywhere.
Well, fair enough. Honestly, especially when you make like a friend group, it's really hard to decide like to go by yourself. But the cool thing is that everyone can go. So you can travel together like over the summer, either decide to go to Shanghai or San Fran or whatever. My best friend actually, she's from Argentina and she also just graduated with me. And her brother also went to HALT, but he went to the HALT San Francisco campus. And he, after 1 year now, he decided to come to London. So he's transferred to the London campus, which is really cool. And I think he's going to decide if he's going to stay like next year for the last year that he might go to Boston, or if he's going to stay in London, depending on, of course, the global situation. But I think it's so cool that you have the opportunity now to still travel, even though it's a pandemic. He took that step. That was really cool of him.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you for sharing, guys, on the rotation. So, I mean, technically, just to give a bit more background, academically, students can rotate every year. They can rotate every summer. Some of the campuses are only accessible for summers, such as Shanghai and Dubai. You can only do summer rotations there. But all the other campuses, you can do yearly rotations in. And it's very flexible, very easy to rotate from one to another. But as Lisa mentioned, it's time consuming because you have to find accommodation, you have to make sure they're ready to host you, and you have to go through the administrative, and sometimes, and most times, I mean, depending on where you're from, you also have to go through the visa process of getting a visa for the US or for the UK, depending on which campus you're coming from. Great. I mean, we're slowly but surely coming up to the end of our session. I'm gonna also leave some time for questions, but before we go to the questions, and please do ask any questions that you have, whether it's academic or not. Do write us on the chat and let us know if you have any questions. But before that, I'm just curious because Lisa mentioned it earlier, and it's something that academically we do as well, is our flexibility. We give students the opportunity to have a very flexible academic curriculum. So they can fast forward their studies, they can study during the summer, and then fast forward in a whole summer, you can do almost 6 months of studies, meaning that instead of, 4 years or 3 years to do your bachelor, all of a sudden you need 6 months less. And so Lisa, you mentioned doing your whole bachelor's in just 2 years.
Yeah.
And that's, can you tell us a bit more how that worked out? Does that mean that you were pretty much all summers, going to the summer courses, or tell us more about that experience?
So it was definitely stressful, and I don't recommend it like specifically unless you have a concrete goal after your bachelor's, because like now I'm sitting here in a pandemic and thinking, okay, now I have a job, that's cool, but I do also love studying, and my roommates, one of them still goes to HALT, and I'm kind of jealous that she still gets to go there. But nonetheless, it's awesome. And for me, before the pandemic, I was honestly, a concrete goal was to immediately go and maybe work in other country, maybe Bangkok. So that kind of was my concrete motivation to do this. And I don't think if you don't have a motivation to fast forward, there's absolutely no need, or even like no way, because it's actually exhausting bad. So for me, the reason why I was able to do it in 2 years was because I had 30 transfer credits from my high school. So I did the International Baccalaureate, that basically was the equivalent of the first year at HALT. So it was a lot of basic business, a lot of basic English, maths, and things like that. So that allowed me to kind of already reduce 2 semesters basically, because 1 semester is 15 credits. And then after my first semester, I got onto the Dean's List, and you get onto the Dean's List if you have 3.60 GPA and above. And that allows you to take 1 more credit, one more course, so 3 more credits. And so I did that. And so the next semester, well, that went exactly, so that was semester 1. Then semester 2, I basically did 18 credits. And that kind of accumulated. Then I did a lot of summers. I did all the summers. So 1 summer in San Francisco with 6 courses, then 1 more summer in Ashridge with 6 courses, and then I just kept staying on the Dean's List, and yeah, everything accumulated, and I got my 120 credits within 2 years, which was awesome, but very, very stressful. And yeah, I mean, it's 100% possible, but everybody needs to kind of see for themselves if that's what they want.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you very much, Lisa. And so that's also important to note that we do have a very flexible sort of academic curriculum where students can graduate within 2 years. The minimum to graduate is 2 years. So you cannot do less than 2 years at HALT. But if you're coming from an IB or if you're coming from A levels, then you have that opportunity of bringing in up to 30 credits, which is also saving you a whole year pretty much at HALT, of the HALT curriculum. And great, so I see we do have one question, which is based on our business analytics major. And our students asking us pretty much what kind of courses are we taking or we giving when it comes to business analytics. Before I answer that, can maybe students or whoever's here watching us today, can you maybe just write down in the chat which part of the world you're joining us from? I'm very curious to know where you're currently located, where is home. So please let us know in the chat, just type in the country and city, and I'd be very curious to know. When it comes to business analytics, it's a sort of a new major that we've added. So it's, like I said earlier, we're very flexible in the fact that we adapt our curriculum to whatever students expect and want to study, but mainly also we adapt it to whatever our employers and people that we do research with are telling us that is the moving trend within the careers environment, let's say. So different courses that we teach when it comes to business analytics include data analytics. So analyzing data, going through databases and being able to work different tools and different programs that analyze data in a very fast way. So AI and all that. We teach also advanced Excel. So really digging into the power of Excel. How can you use Excel to dig into analytics and really go into deep down into the big data, I guess you could say. We teach some programming as well. So Python basics, we don't go too into detail, but you need to understand how programming works, what is Python and whatnot. A lot about data visualization. So there's this platform, if you haven't heard about it, it's called Tableau. Tableau is one of the most commonly used data analytics visualization platforms. And so you'll be learning how to use that, how to program, how to visualize, and how to create visual sort of data sets so that it's easier to explain and you can include them in presentation, etc. We teach SQL, machine learning. I mean, those are the, I guess, if I'm not forgetting any, those are the main topics. And then there's subtopics as well that you can learn branching out of these. But those are the main sort of topics that we'll be teaching students who choose business analytics as a major. And I see that students have started answering. We have some students from Brazil. So hello in Brazil. And some students from Austria, a bit closer. Oh wow, San Francisco must be very early out there, or relatively early. Welcome from San Francisco, Trinidad. So excellent.
We also have Raul from London. Ah
yes, Raul from London. Well done. Raul is the first one to tell us. Yeah, I'm here from London.
He predicted it.
Yeah, he predicted the question. So hello to everyone. I'm really happy you guys were able to join us. Oh, and then we have Alfredo from Italy and Fationa from Albania. Great. Sorry if I mispronounced the name, but amazing. So I suggest that now, we hand it over to our students who are watching us and who have questions. Is there any questions that you may have? First, Fationa, I hope that answered your question about business analytics. The main cores are the ones that I mentioned. And I hope that made it a bit clearer about, what you can expect from that major. Did that help? Okay, perfect. Glad to hear. Oh, Jonathan from Indonesia. Welcome, Jonathan. A bit later out there, I guess. And Alberto from Italy. Lovely. So I don't know, is there any other questions? Does anybody have any questions for our students? Is there anything that you want to know more about? About HALT, the curriculum, this, activities, student activities, or anything at all? I don't see many questions. But in that case, not a problem. I think that's a good sign. That means we're very explicit and we explain very well, and we're very good at speaking about HALT and covering almost everything there is to speak about. I suggest maybe before we leave, then maybe each one of you can give our potential future students somewhat of a tip, maybe a recommendation about, you know, what would you recommend them as a future student of HALT to do when they're at HALT, or maybe what would you recommend them to do in their application process that might help, or whatever recommendation you have for these future HALTians that want to join the HALT family. Hajar, do you want to start? I see that you're scratching your head like, I don't know if that's, what am I going to tell them, or?
Basically, like for future HALT students, I would say like seize every opportunity when you come to uni. Because I just like know many students just like come, like go to courses and then go back home. But they should keep in mind it's not like not a normal lecture uni. It's like if you come here and just like go to class and go back home, it's like you're throwing the money out of the window.
Yeah,
it's like if you're gonna be investing, you have to use every opportunity that the school brings you, because like HALT brings you thousands, like million opportunities every single week, every single day, like throughout your years. So you better seize them all. Like whether it's for your experience, your CV, or just like to have a bigger network, but like you have everything put right in front of you. So you better grab what you need, grab what you want, so you can have the successful life you need. Otherwise, if you like stay there and like, and also get out of your comfort zone, because in HALT, there's no comfort zone at all. It's like the more you get out, the more you fit in.
No, 100%. I agree with you. Like if you don't go up to your professors, I mean, of course, like we said, the professors, they want to get to know you, but they'll only get to know you if you also, it's a two-way street. If you also go up to them and ask questions, and if you go up and introduce yourself, like it might seem weird, but like, of course, they have so many students. They often, professors also teach at different universities. So you're not the only one. And yeah, stay in touch with them and ask questions and be engaging, and make sure that the work they give you, they don't give it to you to torture you. They genuinely have something to teach you, and they genuinely are interested in the topic and are professionals and experts in the topic. So what I always did, I made sure to, not always, but a lot of the times, I made like a first draft, and then I made sure if the professor did have the time to could go through it with me. Honestly, professors have so little time on their hands. If they offer you that opportunity, seize it, honestly. And at the end, I always got really good marks on papers like that, because I learned I learned everything that was possibly that I could have possibly learned. I don't know, Adria, if you want to add something to that, but for me, another tip that I would say, definitely apply to the scholarships, because they're there for a reason, and they are that, yeah, just don't skip on it because you think you're kind of lazy, that you don't want to write an essay. At the end, it's actually really, really good if you do so, and the chances are quite high that you will get them. So I can find out the link to a blog post about the scholarships, and I'll drop it in the chat, but maybe Adria, you want to add something?
Sure. So I have, I think, 3 top tips. The first one would be enjoy your time. It's gonna go super fast. I mean, at least for me, it was like, oh wow, it's been 3 years. So yeah, enjoy your time while here. It's a one-time experience. So do as many stuff as you can, like go out, learn a lot, travel. That would be my first one. My second one will be network a lot. HALT gives you the opportunity to meet a lot of people, people from a lot of industries. So don't be afraid or scared of meeting new people. I think that it's really important to leave HALT with a massive network of people that maybe at the end you can go and travel for free, right? Like you can stay at someone's house. And the last tip would be to have a growth mindset. I think that that's something that we learn at HALT. To not stick with how do I say it? To think out of the box, right? Like to to be different and to express yourself and to change and develop. I think that will be my 3 top tips.
Amazing,
That's nice.
amazing, guys. And that being said, thank you, Lisa, who shared the scholarship blog post. So don't hesitate. So she shared 2. She shared
the brochure and the blog post, yeah.
Okay, I think
so
okay,
people
cool.
can look at Hajar.
Cool, yeah. And I think Sarah had shared the brochure as well earlier.
Oh, sorry. Okay, perfect.
No worries.
Well, now,
but the blog post as well. And thank you, guys. I also want to leave you with, I'm going to share my screen here again, and I'm going to show you just the Ashridge estate we were talking about earlier, because we spoke about it, how it was the estate where some parts of Harry Potter was filmed, and it's actually true. And this is the estate where students can go and study either summer programs. We have some actual classes that are taught there. And this is the stairwell that I think part of the Harry Potter film was filmed on. That's the famous part of the Ashridge estate where Harry Potter shows up. But great, that's it. I mean, for us, I think I'm super happy that everybody got to join us from all around the world. Thank you to everyone for joining. Very good point. Lisa just shared her Instagram handle. Oh, everybody shared their Instagram handle. Maybe I should share mine too. No, but good. Thank you. So, I mean, don't hesitate to add, each one of these students on Instagram. They're very happy to help you. Obviously, that's why they're here. And if you have any other questions that you weren't able to ask, don't hesitate to reach out to them and ask directly. I hope this was helpful to everyone. If anything else comes up, I can also drop down my email.
And you can also follow the Howard Business School Instagram, because we also answer questions there.
100%. Which maybe we can quickly share.
Carlos, are you going to add it?
Let me quickly find it. Or if you have it before me,
yeah,
you can share it. There it is. It's like it's literally just Howard Business School altogether. Cool. Great, guys. So thank you to Hajar, Lisa, and Adria. Thank you so much for your time, for taking the opportunity to answer our students' questions. And thank you to everyone who joined us today. This video will be recorded, or is recorded, and will be sent out to you so that you can always look back at it. And that's it for me. Thank you very much for joining us today. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did, and bye-bye. All the best.
Thank you, guys. Bye.
See you soon.